get that nobody watches Neighbours in Australia, but that to the UK is a very good line.
Yeah. And look, I'm we're not related to Angela
now.
Bishop or Bronwyn Bishop. I always
nice.
get your sister Angela. In a cab the other day, this guy goes, "How's Angela? You know, how much older is she than you?" And I'm like, "Who is Angela?" And the penny
Bronwyn was
Angela
one of my first crushes. As a
Wow.
girl.
Really?
Really? Yeah, I fancied
Bronwyn or
Bronwyn, yeah.
Angela? Angela's got nice legs.
I don't remember Angela Bishop, but Bronwyn.
The daughter, Channel 10.
No, I'm
okay.
stuck on Neighbours and that's it. You know,
Right.
You always say to people when you've met Michelle for the first time, and you said, right,
Tell me
Michelle,
about your
tell me
life.
your entire life
Do you know what I
story."
do? Do you know what I do is quite often if you're sat next to someone at a thing that you don't know, and I don't like those events. I'm in my mid-40s. I don't need to meet anybody new for the rest of my life.
You're not recruiting.
But if
Did you want me to leave now?
No, it's okay.
Am I making you uncomfortable?
You can stay, but I don't need. You know, we don't need to converse.
Right. Okay.
That's where we're at.
Right.
That's where I'm at. You know, I'm sure you feel the same. I've just got enough. I know enough people, right? And I'm tired.
Yep.
But if you're at a thing and you don't know someone, and you just say, "Come on, then, tell us." Like, start at the beginning.
Yep.
And I want granular detail. It will fill quite a lot of the evening. People like talking about themselves.
Yes.
You don't have to do any hard work. It's a great way to get through the night.
Dale
And
Carnegie.
you can find out pretty quickly actually if they've got something about them or if they're just, you know, you don't really. And it doesn't matter if it's good or it's bad. You've learned a bit.
Yep.
You know.
So where are we at with Michelle?
Well, I did say I like long walks on the beach.
We got quite a long way.
Yes.
Although I'm a cynic because she, you know, Instagrammed her naked form. She was telling me
That's right. Naked form.
and earlier and as an accident. And I'm cynical. Social media, I'm cynical about, and I don't know Michelle well enough to know if she's a liar or an honest person. But I wonder if that was intentional.
That was your cue, Joel.
Yes.
Every time I tweet my naked form, it's meant to be an accident, but actually I'm just trying to get a few more
And
followers.
so what was my response to that? Be open, be free. You can use it quite as a quote.
No, that's I'm not here to take this show in the gutter. I know where the show is. You know, in many ways, I'm trying to
Well,
elevate
let's put
it
in
to
a
a
nice
certain
way. I
level.
said, well,
Yes.
I would have preferred to wear a bra in the bar.
That's true.
That's possibly
Okay.
what I said. So
Okay.
it was going to be an accident.
I'd like to apologise, Michelle, for calling
Thank
you a
you.
liar so
No,
early
that's okay. I'm
in this
good.
relationship.
I'm really easygoing.
Okay,
We'll see you in
that's good.
HR when we
But
get
if you
there.
do
fine.
want to follow Michelle on Instagram,
No, I don't really. But that's fine.
That's really what
I
you're
get enough
angling
of
at. Come on.
those AI naked people follow you quite a lot of the time.
really?
don't
I
they?
don't know.
AI
you
naked
You
people.
tweet something out. I tweet out, you know, some generic football-based question, and mainly it's, you know, Barbara 41218 saying click this link, and I don't think she's a football lover at heart.
You honestly
No.
don't think she is?
I don't think she is. I think she's after something else.
Okay.
Really?
No,
Well, it might
cynical.
be the shape you're in.
it's
Obviously, they
possible.
are. You were telling me this before, and I was telling Max about my dietitian visit and
Right.
my life-changing thing, which Lundy said it's your 5th diet in a row.
Yeah, you got some work to do here,
Not
Joel.
I've got
Counting.
some work to do.
You have got some work to do. I thought you were 10 years older than me.
No, that's
and
right.
we're the same age.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
that's
All
really
right.
cut me to the
So
core.
there's no mirrors in England. That's fine. Righto, Trevor Hendy, let's do this. No, but what I was going to ask is, so you have a personal trainer when you come to Sydney.
It sounds a bit sort of cocky, that, doesn't it, to have one of those? But I just
Yeah.
don't have any willpower. I'm sure a lot of listeners feel the same. I've got no willpower in the gym.
Yes.
I hate exercise. I hate running. Every step, I feel
I
like
hate
I'm
it when it
going.
hurts.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to die from step one
Yeah.
to when the Strava says 5 kilometres and I stop right there, and that
Yes.
is it. I'm not going to do any more, and I haven't died, and it's a win for me, but it's a massive surprise. And in the gym, if I was on my own, I would just go and get a glass of water and then just walk around a bit and leave.
So you got a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Right, in Sydney.
Yeah.
So do they have to drive far to meet you?
No. He's in London. He's the guy I kept from when I moved here. I wanted to keep connection to my roots, and he's a nice guy, Luke. And I just get him on a FaceTime.
And he's just laying in bed.
He's in
You
the
can
gym.
do that by
He's
going to the pub. Keep
well,
connected with your roots.
Yeah,
just
you
gotta...
can. But also, like, there's a fat man itching to get out of
Right.
me, and I don't want it to happen. And so you have to fight against it. And
Right.
so I use Luke. Yeah.
So literally by Zoom.
Yeah, just FaceTime.
So he'll just say, righto, Maxie, go and jump on this, do this.
Yeah, and it is ridiculous, isn't it? Because gyms are ridiculous, don't you? I mean, I've always found this. Sometimes you'll be in the gym. When I used to go to the session with him, he'd have like a medicine ball that was like 40 kilos.
Yes.
And the job would be this. I would pick it up and put it on a box. He would take it off the box and put it on the floor. And I would pick it up and put it on the box. And he would pick it up and put it on the floor. And you'd stand back and you'd go, 4 billion years of evolution have led to this moment where these two sentient beings are moving this heavy thing back and forth. What is the point of all of this?
Correct.
I'm not sure where I was going with that, but
No.
it was an observation on life.
Can I just quickly say,
Please
and I
do.
don't want this to be a name-dropping exercise,
Sounds
but
like it.
privileged in our situation to meet up with people, was working as a cadet, the St George and Sutherland Shire leader, doing real estate. Got to go to someone's house to write up this big, he's selling his house, a mansion, cost a zoo. This is when he's first come out to Australia. Anyway, he said to me in a nice sort of a way, but quite, blunt, you could lose some weight.
Wow.
So
Is this a rugby league player we're talking about?
no, Costa Zoo.
boxer.
Costa
famous
Zoo, the
boxer.
boxer.
I don't do boxing.
This is not Tim Zoo. This is his dad,
okay.
Costa.
Dave, can I just say this, though? Maestro did say, Michelle, you can ask him about anything you want. I've never heard Max comment on anything that wasn't the round ball, but you talk about boxing, go on.
Okay, so Costa says come and do some training with
Oh,
Igor,
right, okay.
who's
Yeah.
in Tim's corner now. So that was we used to go 3 times a week. It was my photographer who was a female, Natalia, which was his wife at the time, Tim's mum, still Tim's mum, but
Right.
not Costa's wife.
Right.
And the 3 of us never been fitter, but I was so embarrassed to be in front of a world champion that I just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
And it was the best I ever looked. I
funny.
was about probably in 2021. But then I meet up with him the 2000 Olympics, hadn't seen him in years, had a child or whatever. And he says to me, "Oh, Michelle, what happened? You look like you eat goat."
Oh,
that's
no.
sweet.
He's a nice. He wouldn't have meant that
But
in an
just
offensive
direct.
way, but
Yeah.
it was just like, "Whoa, get back to the gym, sunshine."
And did you?
Well, did I? I think I did.
Oh, you look in tremendous nick.
Why do people say that? Like, I quite often, like, people would say, "Oh, geez, you've had a good run, or you've been in a good paddock." I couldn't say that to someone.
No.
And the only
No,
other
I
thing
wouldn't
which
say. I wouldn't say it.
And what about the amount of time when I've actually put my foot in the mouth over someone being pregnant and they
Oh,
haven't
really?
been pregnant?
oh,
Yeah.
Like that's just. I don't. You know what? You could be 9 months and being cut at a hospital. I still wouldn't ask you about
Really?
the baby. It's
No,
post-traumatic
You can
stress
be happy
disorder.
in any body.
what do you call? What's the term that you
Is
use?
this a joke or
in
not?
England? No, it's a
Okay,
question.
fine.
It's a question.
Yep.
What's the term that you use if somebody is their partner would be deemed by many to be far better looking than them?
So this is interesting. So my wife is, significantly better looking than I am, fortunately. And the phrase is punching.
Punching.
But there is a footballer called Jason Punchin, right? Who sort of played lower Premier League, upper Championship. And so within footballing parlance in the UK, you would say, he's Jason Punchin.
Yes.
And obviously my wife has no idea who Jason Punchin is. She's not a big sports fan. And so one day she just woke up and said, who is Jason Puncioni, and why does everyone keep sending me pictures of Jason Puncioni? But that is the
Yes.
phrase. Yes.
So I copped that myself.
Oh,
and
really?
Michelle said this the only other day.
Oh, but I was only joking.
So that they either
Just
say
as
you're
good-looking
either
as Kobe.
batting or you're
Yes,
punching,
correct.
right? But I need to get to the bottom of this. Because it happens to me quite a lot. People say, they don't say Jason, but they say you're punching. Right? So when you're punching, are you like, where are we on the punching scale? Like, are they saying to me, mate, you have a head like a dropped pie? Or are they saying that your partner's
wife's
a supermodel?
smoking.
Or is there somewhere in the middle?
Probably in some cases somewhere in the middle, but I would just say that your wife's hot.
It's
It's
a compliment, I think.
Yeah.
It's a considered qualified compliment from a friend.
So it's not,
I would
geez,
say.
you're ugly.
I
Look
don't
at her.
think so.
I cop it all the time. People say all the time, "Gee, Shells, you're batting."
Yeah,
I
you're
think,
batting, not
Really? You've
punching.
seen Bisho?
Yeah.
So your partner is a rugby league player.
Well, he played
Is it Kevin
with Joel
Iro?
years ago.
Is it Ellery Hanley?
No.
Martin
He's
of
a
Fire?
Neville nobody.
Okay. Is it Ian Heron?
It's not
No.
Henderson
Wow.
Gill.
Okay. Well, I'm
Gee,
out.
I'm really
Chris
impressed with
Radlin-
some
is
of
it
the
Chris
people that you
Radlinski?
know. I didn't think you knew anything about football.
I don't. I just
The
think on
real
the fifth
football.
tackle,
He's just pulled
on
out.
the fifth tackle,
Right.
stop wriggling around, everybody.
Okay.
Just get up and get on
Kick
with
to
it.
the corners.
Just get up and get on with it.
Yes, exactly right. Okay, we're going to talk about Champions League very
Yeah, we can
shortly.
do if you want.
We've got the news, but if there are other things, we can do Ask Max. If there's live
why
things,
not?
live things that you need to ask Max.
Fine.
uh,
People
Ask
like calling
Max.
me rude words on the text board, which I really enjoy. And there's a different language barometer of what you're allowed to say in Australia. So sometimes the rude things come in. And I do radio shows back to the UK, and you
Yes.
sort of filter them, whereas here, Joel and Fletch just read them out. But I can take it. I'm not.
okay.
I'm not precious.
I read them out less than Fletch, but
Yeah,
Fletch,
that
Fletch
is
most
true.
certainly does.
Yeah.
It is the run home with Joel and Fletch with Michelle Bishop in the chair. All thanks to Max.
Hyundai Staria load.
That's exactly
it
right.
holds everything in, like Joel's. No, that's not
My
fair,
belt.
is it? I was going to say.
Your lunchbox.
That's it. The run home with Joel and Michelle. Welcome back to the run home with Joel and Michelle. You can catch all the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League finals live and exclusive on Stan Sport. You start your 7-day free trial today, and our Stan Sport FC expert Maxi Rushden is in the chair. Plenty of questions coming through, Max.
Oh, good. I haven't seen them as well. I'm not looking at the board. Go for it.
Hi, Joel and Michelle. A comment and question for Max. Max, first of all, congratulations for Cambridge scraping it in. Secondly,
Thank you so much.
I love Football Weekly and listen
Oh.
to every episode.
Wow, thank you.
Have you thought about doing a version where we can see your beautiful faces? Panther Howie.
Oh, good question. Yeah, we are. We've heard of this thing called social media. The Guardian's a slow-moving beast, of course, and so we're going to put clips up
Yep.
because we've been sent a camera, me and Barry, And
Do you know how to use it?
Not really, but point it vaguely in the right direction. Be dressed.
Yep.
That's what I've learned from you. And and yeah, I mean, whether we get to YouTube or not is another question. But yeah, hopefully there'll be sort of short snippets of gold. That's the plan. But thank you for listening to it. Well, also, we are in the pipeline an Australian live tour. Got to play the Opera House, haven't we?
Yes.
Come on.
Liam says, "G'day guys, how you getting it?" When someone says you're punching, they really mean that you got a head like a drop pie, and they would love to spend some quality time with your partner.
Right.
Quality. Is that you going through messages?
Yes. Lundy says,
Hey, London's a fan. I know London's a fan.
yeah, Lundy's a fan. He says, question for Max. How the hell did you find someone that can tolerate you, let alone someone that's far more attractive?
No, it's a good question. I mean, I was very persistent in the early days.
Yes.
Be
And-
lucky. It's like being on the punt.
Yeah, exactly.
Some days you win,
I
some days you
I
lose.
was very persistent. It was just eventually easier for her to go out with me than not. And
Yeah.
now, we just sit on the sofa. You watch that show, First Dates? You
Yes.
got that here?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all these people in the same restaurant having lots of different first dates, and we just it doesn't matter how stale this gets.
No,
I can't go on a first date again.
No.
So we're in for good. But thank you, Lundy. I appreciate it.
that's right.
Cut to the chase here. That's fair.
Could you imagine having to do all that swiping, like using social media to hook up with people?
It's more just like, have you got any pets?
me.
I don't care. You got a brother and sister? I don't care about that
But
either.
hang on a minute, doesn't even look like you in the photo.
Yeah.
So how did you meet? Like I know.
On a volcano in Nicaragua.
Oh,
Really?
dear.
Correct.
Wow, on a volcano
Yeah.
in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to this. Let's cut to the chase, as you say. What's the latest? What's the big headline bullet points in
Okay.
all things round ball?
Fine. So Champions League semi-final. First one was this morning, and it was Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. Bayern Munich not had a brilliant season because they haven't won the Bundesliga, and they always win the Bundesliga.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane scored today. They were playing brilliantly. They're playing Real Madrid, who always win this competition. They're going for their 15th European Cup. Bayern were playing brilliantly. Real Madrid scored. They always do that. So you thought, okay, this tie is done. Bayern Munich came out in the second half. They scored twice. Leroy Sané hit a wonderful shot into the near post. Harry Kane got a penalty. Jamal Musiala was playing brilliantly for Bayern. Then they had a centre-back who had come in because Matthias de Ligt was injured, called Kim Min-jae, who'd been brilliant for Napoli. He wasn't brilliant last night. He was at fault for the first goal. He gave away a penalty. So it stands at 2-2, perfectly poised as we go to the Bernabeu next week. Tomorrow morning, you
Yes.
ask, is Borussia Dortmund, not fancied in this competition at all, currently 5th in the Bundesliga. They play Paris Saint-Germain, who are always one of the favourites.
I said to you, they were
did?
about $15. I said, our man Mbappe
You think your man Mbappe
can get there. And you said, no, they can't. They almost can.
They always implode, PSG,
Yeah.
always. But for the first time ever, they have a functional, likeable team, and they obviously have Mbappe. They should
you
get
warming?
past. I'm not warming to them. I would rather Dortmund win. I like the underdog.
Yep.
It'd be good for football if Dortmund won because they're just really unfancied.
Yep.
I suspect my bosses would like it to be Real Madrid PSG,
Yes,
because
big
more people,
stars.
big stars, more people watching all that. I suspect that's what UEFA want as well. And it wouldn't be bad if PSG played Real Madrid because Kylian Mbappe is going to move to Real Madrid in the summer. So then to score, you're yawning, Michelle. Is
No,
that
no,
okay?
that
I mean,
wasn't
I thought I was
intentional.
being quite. You pick your phone up, then you start yawning.
I've got a child ringing me in the middle of my show. How unprofessional.
That is. Do they not know?
No, they should know.
It's outrageous. Do you need to get it?
Oh,
Are they
no.
okay?
If it's
Okay.
really important,
Okay, that's
they'll
fine.
do something.
So
But
that's
yeah.
where we're at with
Sorry,
those.
I didn't mean to be rude.
Don't apologise at all.
Can I just
Dear,
say this? Your favourite fan, Lundy.
Yeah, Lundy. Hey, mate. Hey, Lundy.
He says, hey, Max,
Yes?
what's the name of your show? I just don't want to accidentally turn it
Oh,
on.
that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
So if you just to avoid it, you have
Yeah.
to avoid Stan Sport,
Yeah.
Talk Sport,
Yeah.
The Guardian Football Weekly,
And the Run Home with Joel and
and
Michelle.
the
Don't
Run Home
mind a
with
bit of
Joel.
Stan Sport just quietly.
Oh, that's good.
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I can get you a free
Gets
trial.
a run in my household.
Yeah, I should hope
Oh,
so
you
too.
can get her a 7-day free trial.
Yeah, just
can
go
you?
to stand.com.au. I hope so. Or
That's
use
right.
my login. No, that's
Does
okay.
that mean I've got to watch it for 7 days?
You have to watch it solidly for 7 days.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what else is happening? What's
Okay,
the-
Premier League.
In the whole of the world of
The
soccer,
whole of
what's
the
the
world of
big
football.
stories?
Premier League title race is quite exciting. Arsenal beat Tottenham at the weekend. Bad news for Ange. They played quite well, actually, Tottenham, but they were 3-0 down at half-time because Arsenal are ruthless. Bayern, of course, he knocked Arsenal out of the Champions League. So Arsenal are top, a point ahead of Manchester City, but Manchester City have a game in hand.
Yes.
Here's where it's interesting.
Yes.
That game in hand is against Tottenham. Now, the last thing that Tottenham want is for Arsenal to win the Premier League because they are massive rivals, but it may come down to Tottenham needing to get something from Manchester City to get into the Champions League and thus giving the title to Arsenal. There's narrative everywhere there.
Is there only... We had 3-horse race for a while.
Yeah, Liverpool have dropped off.
It's down to 2?
Yeah, down to 2.
Okay.
That's a Man City and Arsenal.
In this scenario, 100 times it gets played out.
Okay.
How many times does City win? How many times do Arsenal win, in your opinion?
City win 80 times.
Oh, 80.
Yeah, they just have a way at the end of every season of just winning every game. Their hardest fixture is Tottenham away. They don't have a good record at Tottenham. That is true. But they've got the best players. They've got the most money. They've got the best manager. So you would say Man City, neither side will drop a point is what will probably happen. So Man City will win 4 games. Arsenal win 3. Arsenal have got to go to Manchester United, who are garbage. But you never know with Manchester United. They could just turn it on against Arsenal. But it is still very exciting.
Interesting. Interesting. Anything else happening?
Cambridge United survived in League One. That was a big moment for me, and I suspect 2 other Cambridge fans in Australia.
What about Neighbours?
Well,
I haven't watched Neighbours for many years.
well, the
Are
thing
they
is, Neighbours
reruns now,
No. So what happened was Neighbours ended, and the last episode was amazing.
What happened to Uncle Harold?
Well, I don't know if he. I think Harold came back.
Right.
Guy Pearce came back. Obviously, Mike, Plain Jane Superbrain came back. Kylie was there, and Jason, and there was obviously I think they couldn't get Kylie, Jason, and Guy Pearce on the same day. So there's weird shots where there'd be 2 of them,
Well, they look like they're...
and then another 2 of them. But they just, they obviously their diaries couldn't meet. And then
Did Madge drop off?
Yeah, Madge is gone. Holly Valance was in it. I think Natalie Imbruglia played a little part. Anyway, it was an amazing last episode. I was in tears. I was like bawling my eyes out. Bouncer and Bouncer's Dream. What an episode that was.
There you go.
And Bouncer fell down a manhole. That was an issue, but I think he's out of that.
He did.
But anyway, then it's got recommissioned, so that is great news. Great news for Dr. Carl Kennedy, the greatest single living medic on the
He
planet.
certainly is. Brian's a fan.
Hey, Brian.
Brizzy Brian. He said,
Hi, Brizzy Brian.
I feel like I'm so up to
he
date.
calls you the tourist. He said that this tourist is a keeper.
Yeah.
I love the way where he tells his story. So he's a fan, says Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Can
I'm
you
a
tell
fan.
us?
That's kind, Michelle.
Yes. Can you tell us, please, about this ultimate sporting trip competition?
Yeah, as long as I can read the same thing that you're reading. Yeah. No. It's really good.
He
Stan,
can borrow his glasses.
Yeah. So viewers to Stan, and I think you can find it on all our social channels on Twitter and Instagram. You can win 2 tickets to go to the Champions League final, which is at Wembley. And then you can just pop over to Paris, watch a day of the tennis at Roland Garros. We'll pay for all of it. We'll give you some spending money. I don't know how much it is.
Couple of
but
bucks.
like a couple of bucks or
couple of red wines.
something like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to, hopefully the back of the plane. I don't want us to waste all our money
No,
on
that's
you lot,
right.
on you rabble. But look, that is a good prize.
Yes.
Even if you hate football and tennis, you get a free trip to London and France,
that's
right?
it. Go
you
there,
can
don't
always
even go to the
swerve
sport.
the game.
Yeah.
Just leave at half time. But yeah, Champions League finals at Wembley, so it should be, it should be fantastic. And then you get a bit of French Open tennis as well.
When
What
is
is not to
the
like?
Champions League final?
June the 1st, is it?
And that's just the one game, isn't
Just
it?
one game, 90 minutes, maybe extra time, maybe penalties. Yeah.
Always Wembley?
No. It goes all around you.
It goes all around Europe.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, Maxi Rushden, enter today at Stan Sport AU on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram is the way to
They're
do
the
that.
places.
Max,
Good luck.
You learnt the life story of Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
You've
better
got
off
the
for it.
crowd
It's a
here.
good show, this one, isn't it? I never
Yeah.
really know where it's going.
Well, nor do I.
I'm never totally convinced it's actually on anywhere. I think just Lundy through the glass, just
That's
like
Lundy
abusing.
there.
That's Lundy just abusing
Date
me.
night, Dom, is Lundy.
But it's got a wonderful feel to it.
It does.
And radio's just about building communities, and that's
Correct.
what you guys are doing.
We are
I must
community
have to have a
builders.
feel.
Community builders here. SEN Network is the way to do that. Max Rushden for Stan Sport. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
catching us.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you.